Hi everyone, Sarah the Catholic Homemaker here. Today we are going to talk about keeping the Lord's Day holy and why you would want to do so. First of all, if you are new here, welcome to my channel and thank you all who have subscribed so far. If you are new, please consider subscribing. Here we talk about my Catholic faith, homemaking, motherhood, and health. Throw in some recipes as well, and on the health topic I talk about the principles of Dr. Weston A. Price and applying that to my life and how you can do so with yours. All right, back to the subject matter at hand. This is the third commandment, keeping the Sabbath holy. I will read to you exactly what it is from the Bible. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath. Now I'm going to jump down to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, chapter 2172. God's action is the model for human action. If God rested and was refreshed on the seventh day, man too ought to rest on the seventh day and should let others, especially the poor, be refreshed. The Sabbath brings everyday work to a halt and provides a respite. It is a day of protest against the servitude of work and the worship of money. So for me, other than making sure I attended Mass, I've always tried to go to Mass, and I've basically made sure that I don't miss Mass my whole life, whether it's for a Sunday or for a holy day of obligation. But I'm not sure if I ever treated Sunday any differently than any other day up until today when I'm recording this video. The other day I was watching a video of Father Altman. He's being interviewed by Dr. Taylor Marshall, and I heard him talking about how even before he became a priest, he would give those 24 hours to the Lord. He started like Saturday night at 6 p.m., ending at Sunday at 6 p.m. And he would just completely give those 24 hours to the Lord. And I remember there's this group of ladies that I am conversing with, and including Laura from What Laura Likes. And Laura talks a lot about her habits, what she does on Sunday, and she tries not to do too much cleaning or housework on Sundays. I've heard her mention that another time. So I just was kind of curious about that, and I had never really given it much thought until I was hearing about it from her and from Father Altman, and I was like, maybe this is something I should really think about. And so I asked the ladies in the group and Laura shared some videos. I will link to those below so you guys can look at them too. So I'm not going to get into every single detail that the priests talked about in their homilies about keeping the Lord's Day holy, but you can watch it for yourselves. And I think they were very helpful for me to kind of digest, to understand like what's kind of okay to do versus what's not okay to do, in the understanding of the third commandment, God's law, and the Catholic the Catholic Church's interpretation of that as well. So I didn't realize that it was sinful to do work on Sundays, and the kind of work I'm talking about is servile work, as it is referred to. There are exceptions to this, because people who have to do it in order to provide for their families, or like policemen, firemen, they are exempt from that because they're doing that to provide for their families. And in the case of like firemen and policemen, even also for the good of our society as a whole. So personally, like, I knew when I had a job that I should avoid working on Sundays as much as I possibly could. But other than that and attending Mass, I didn't really distinguish it much from any other day of the week, other than like, oh, I can just kind of take it easy. I can make my own plans on this day. But God commanded us to rest. He did that as a model to us himself. On the seventh day after making creation, he rested, not because he actually needed to rest, but because he needed to give us that example. Just as when John the Baptist baptized Jesus, Jesus didn't actually need to be baptized, but he did it to be a good example to all of us. And servile work, what I'm referring to, it is talked about in those videos linked below, but servile work would be things that people may have hired servants for in the past. So, you know, cleaning your house, doing yard work or gardening, washing your cars, mowing the lawn. I mean, you might not necessarily hire that to other people, but these are forms of like extra work that should be avoided on the Lord's Day, because it is a day of rest. And if you're doing all that kind of work that you normally would do or that you might need to get done, you're not really resting. And exceptions to that would be things that are necessary, like cooking for your family, cleaning up the mess. You can't really leave like a food mess because that's going to attract insects, of course. But so those are exceptions to that. And I was asking the ladies, like, what would a day like that look like? And they were saying going to Mass, of course, but then just kind of dedicating that day to God and or with your family. So making prayer a part of it. Laura was suggesting, you know, you could watch a movie with your family and even like watch a movie on Formed, or maybe a movie about one of the lives of the saints, and kind of making it an educational thing. You know, they were saying traditionally in the past, people went out on drives together, their families did. Recreational things like going to the zoo are exceptional, or going to the pool, probably to the beach as well, going on short hikes. Again, these sorts of things are talked about in those videos that will be linked. And so I just kind of thought about it, and it was a little scary to me at first. I'm like, oh my goodness, so this is gonna be a hard change for me because like there's all these rules. But I was like, I'm gonna try it. This was yesterday, Saturday, when I was thinking about all these things. So I'm like, okay, I know I'm not really feeling up to cleaning some of these things, like finishing the laundry, or like finishing folding up the laundry, because I was really behind on that. Just like a couple loads or so that I needed to actually fold. And there's some other little cleaning things that I was like, I don't necessarily feel like doing, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get through it so I can avoid doing this tomorrow, which will be Sunday. And so I folded all the clothes, put them away. I can't remember exactly some of the other cleaning things I did to just kind of prepare for today, Sunday. But I did it. I took care of it. And we actually attended Mass Saturday night. So I may like kind of make the 24-hour rule too, instead of like the whole day of Sunday. So that is something you could consider doing with yourself or with your family, is that if you don't necessarily want to do all of Sunday, you could do like sundown to sundown. So that's something I may consider doing. But yeah, we went to Mass last night, But then today was like truly a day of rest for us. We just really took it easy. We ate our food at home and, spent the day together. I actually played my clarinet. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before on this channel before, but I used to play the clarinet. I played it for 8 years, and I was actually going to go to college for that and be a music performance major. But I ended up deciding going against that, and I played my clarinet for the first time in a very long time. And I was surprised that I could still actually play. Not nearly as well as I used to be able to, but I was surprised at how many things I actually remembered, and it's not like I had to start from scratch. So I feel like that's kind of like, learning to drive or learning to ride your bike. It's something that you don't forget, even if you go many years without doing it. So that was really enjoyable to me, and my daughters were actually having fun listening to me play. And I gotta say, overall, the day, it was so much more relaxing than normally other Sundays are, because I'm not like rushing to do different things. Not that I necessarily do that in general, but I never made a rule against it. Like, I never thought in my mind like, oh, like Sunday is off limits for that. So that brings me to another point about shopping. That is talked about in those videos about you really should be getting your shopping done, even food shopping on other days. So one of the exceptions was that, like, if you needed something specific for a recipe, like, so let's say that you forgot to buy eggs. Well, the priest was saying it's better if you go into a convenience store to buy eggs, because you're only going to buy what you actually need. But it's going to be sinful if you go a step farther and say like, oh, well, I'm already here at the store, I'm going to go ahead and get all these other things that I need for the week. So it's just better to get all of your shopping done on other days. And of course they were like saying you shouldn't be going clothes shopping or any other shopping other than like what you need for that day for food. And actually normally I do my grocery shopping on Saturdays, so that wasn't really a problem for me, at least not for a very long time. I think I would get my shopping done on other days of the week in the past, but for a while now I've been doing all my shopping on Saturdays. But yeah, like just taking out those other things off my plate, working extra hard yesterday, and like going forward, I'm like, it's worth it to work extra hard on other days just so I can have one day of rest a week. It truly recharged me today, and I'm like, this is totally something that I should be doing every single week. And God did this for a reason, because we need it. We're not like Energizer bunnies, we actually do need to stop and rest sometimes. And it's actually what gave me the idea for the video today. Sometimes I struggle with what to come up for my videos on Monday, and like having that quiet time just away from the rush of all things kind of cleared my mind and gave me that creativity. So that's another reason that we really need this. And of course, we need to be obedient to God. That's really the most important thing. I just can't express how much this day meant to me and how much I understand the importance of it now. I hope that this video can help you see that too. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments too, if this is a regular practice of yours to keep the Lord's Day holy, and If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell for all notifications so you know when I post. I post every Monday at 12 p.m. noon. So until next time, bye, and may God bless you and your families.